in the quietness of who we are. If you really want to know who you are, you have to spend some time by yourself, alone, not reading, not watching TV, not listening to the radio, nothing. Just you. Best in nature, whether it's by the beach or go for a walk in the woods, just to be by yourself. And why do we do this? Because as an empath and growing up that way, I've learned a lot about myself. When I was a kid, I always seemed like I felt like I was a mess, that there wasn't something quite right with me. And it was always because I was bombarded with everybody's energy, thoughts, and I didn't realize, or I didn't know, because no one knew, no one told me, that I was always picking up what other people were thinking, feeling, and hiding. And so if someone was smiling and saying, "Oh, hi, how are you? How are the kids? Oh, they're great. And, everything's wonderful." But inside, they're like, "Oh, I just want to rip somebody's fucking head off." I, as a kid and growing up, would connect with that part of them, because this is when we suppress our feelings and we're not congruent, which means what we see on the outside is what we're feeling on the inside. You hear this about some people who say they wear their heart on their sleeve, and how you can always tell what someone is thinking and feeling by looking at them. But then some of us are taught to master our poker face and not show anyone what we're feeling inside. I heard, and I've heard other people be taught this, is you don't want anyone to know your weaknesses, because then it's dangerous. And usually you hear this in your workplace. Don't tell anyone your personal stuff. Don't do this, because there's always that fear of someone getting one over on you and being able to sabotage you and take your job away, or whatever it is. And it's kind of a silly thing. If you really sit back and just sit with it for a few minutes, it really is a sad and silly thing that we do. If we were just us, just ourselves, and went about our business, and we did what we want to do when we wanted to do it, our life would just take on a whole different energy, a whole different feel to it. And so when I grew up and I started learning about this, I had a huge freedom about myself, because I no longer felt I was fucked up, or where are these thoughts coming from, and why am I having these visions? And when I started learning, I realized everyone walks with stuff, and everyone is trying to hide it, because as society, we, for some reason, are really uncomfortable with people and their problems. So when you say, "Hi, how are you?" you expect someone to say, "Fine." You don't really want to hear, "Oh, I got up this morning and, the kids were a mess, and then I had a fight with my husband, and I just feel really shitty inside, and I don't know what to do with myself." Can you imagine? I can already feel you cringing. People don't really want to know what's going on with us. So we just say, "Fine," and we carry on. There's a thing now, and you can call it a movement or whatever. It was back in the 60s as well. It's mindfulness and being present. And I do this in my daily life as well as when I'm sitting with someone. But I find that when I pull myself and I'm in the present and I'm sitting with someone, I'm really listening to someone, I'm paying attention to them, and not looking at my phone and not thinking about what I had to do tomorrow, or what happened to me yesterday, or what I'm going to cook for dinner. But I really, really am sitting there listening to this person. It's called a presence for a reason. You are now connected with that person. When you're connected, two things happen. You're there for them, and it makes them feel safe and be able to open up. And number two, you are safe, because you're not pretending that everything is okay. You're not pretending that this person has no problems and you just want to have a good time with this person, or you just want to talk about all kinds of other stuff and not their problems. So there's not this other stuff going on below the physical awareness, which is, hi, how are you? Oh, great, da 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 da. It's the other stuff below it. And so when we connect here, when we're present, we feel everything. And then this enables us to be present, know what's going on. And then when we leave, we're not leaving with, oh, okay, well, I feel shitty. Why do I feel shitty? Because that person that we just sat with and we had coffee with, and we talked about everything else but what's going on with them, or we weren't willing to acknowledge there's something wrong with them or something's bothering them, then we decide that we're just going to pretend everything's okay. And this happens more than not. So then when we get up and leave, because we've done all this pretending and we've shoved our feelings down and they're shoving their feelings down, and you go home and you have a really bad headache, or you feel really upset, or you feel nervous or frustrated, guess what? It's because nothing real happened between you. A lot of pretending happened. So when you're with someone, practice this. Practice being there with them. Something very, very beautiful and strange happens when you do this. When you put your phone away and you sit down and really sit with them, whether you know them really well or you hardly know them at all. What you're doing is you're making them feel present, important to you in the moment, and you are able to share. So now this becomes a very safe place. And at first, you both may get up and walk away and go, oh my God, I said too much. What's she going to do with that information? Because you'll fall back into your old way of consciousness. Though when two minds come together like that, in realness, in that moment where you're not hiding and pretending, a realness happens, and it feels so great and safe that when you get up, walk away, and go home, you start thinking, oh my God, what did I say that for? I told her too much, or I told him too much. Now he's going to think I'm weak, or she's going to think this. It doesn't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter, because it felt good in the moment. And when you come back together, it'll happen again and again until you trust it. And you will trust it because it feels too fabulous to be real in the moment, be you, and comfortable. There's nothing like it. This is what we're supposed to be like, is real. But we've become this whole society, and it's been forever. It's not just now. It's not just the millennials, and it's not just, TV and the Kardashians. It's always been where we've always been taught not to air our dirty laundry, to keep things close to your chest, to all this, a million sayings to describe that we're not supposed to be like really out there and real. So my suggestion is to really, when you're sitting with someone, sit with them. This is with children too. People say, oh my God, my child just wants me all day long, holds onto my foot, won't leave me alone. That is because you're not present. So even if you take, and I guarantee this if you try it, if you have little ones or even teenagers, even 10 minutes, half an hour, better, even longer if you can, they are your children, sit with them and give them full attention. That means you're not on your phone, computer, TV's not on. You are sitting with them doing something that they enjoy doing, whether it's going to the park, whether it's coloring, whether it's listening to music if they're older, dancing, being silly, whatever it is. When you give that, all of yourself to that child, that teenager, whatever, young adult, something happens. They get filled up. They get filled up with your love and your energy, and that their self-worth starts to develop into this beautiful thing, because they're worthy of your time. They're worthy of your love. They're worthy of your unconditional time that you have spent with them. And that is huge. And then they're content. And then they're content to sit and play by themselves or read a book or whatever it is they do. They're content because they're filled up. This is really, really important thing to know, because this, we're not being told. I see so many kids with their little iPhones or their iPads, and they're on it at the store to keep them quiet. They're on it in the car to keep them quiet. They're on it at home. And it's too much, because what that's going to do is train them to feel that they need instant gratification. So because these games, they can do something and it happens. They want something, they can make it happen. Now put that away. Now they want dinner like that. They want to go out. They want this. And they want everything instantaneously, because that's what they're getting used to. So spend some old-fashioned good time with them. And even your parents, grandparents, same thing. This is about presence, and it's validating, filling someone up. And what happens is you get filled up at the same time. This is not something you're giving up of yourself. This is something you're sharing. So both people get to be in that moment, feel the love, support, and the worthiness of the attention of the other person. And so both people get filled up. And that's a beautiful thing. So practice this with your children, your parents, your grandparents, even your siblings, your friends, whoever. But really be present. And this is the same if you have sick children, autistic children, anything. I'm telling you, it works wherever. Be present in the moment. And when you come and you're here with me and you're in this moment, everything sort of relaxes and you feel safe. And then that transfers to the other person and they feel safe and in the moment. And I have sat with autistic children and something changes in them as well. It's like they become calm, and because they know the present moment. So just try these things, because I know this may be a different way of thinking and seeing things, but this is the most important thing that we can give another human being. You can do this with your pets, for crying out loud, and they know what being in the moment is. It's really, really quite nice. So practice this. And wherever you go, just, it's practice. I can only tell you it's practice, because once you do it and you feel it, you will love the way you feel, and you will see in the eyes of the other person or the children, and you will love what you're bringing to them. I think this is the highest thing that you can bring to a relationship, any relationship. And I think that it's worth working with. So put the phones down, TV off, books away. Music is wonderful to create a certain energy in the home. I always have music on, even though right now I don't. Always have music on, and depending on my mood, whatever will bring me up is the kind of music. And it doesn't mean that, and someone asked me this the other day, what about rap? I can't stand rap. But to a person who loves it, it uplifts them. Someone may like classical music. Someone may love country. Someone may like hip hop, or what do you call it? Regular music on the radio. It's whatever you enjoy that makes you feel good. That uplifts the spirit. It uplifts you. It makes you feel good, and it can even open up your heart. So music is a big thing in my life, and I think it would be good for you to have it in your life. Put it on, even if things are stressful at home. Have that beautiful music playing in the background, whatever it is. It's about being present and knowing what you need and what others need. So, practice, 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 and watch your life change. You will know the people you will want to sit with and have in your life, and you'll know the ones that you can't. Maybe little increments, but not to sit with because it's too much for you. Trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust that part of yourself. The mind has a little mind of its own. It can run on forever. It can make up stories, and this is what we've all been taught to do. It's called diversion. We just want our mind to, this is painful, take me somewhere. I don't like this, I'm feeling uncomfortable, take me somewhere. So you start thinking about other things instead of the thing that you want to get out of. Anyway, that's another talk. Practice liking your own space. Take a few minutes every day and just sit with yourself. Get to know who you really are, not who people told you were, not who you were made to be, because our personality, our ego personality, they were all infused in us by situations, things that happened, people around us, and how we were made to see ourselves. So that's not really fair to identify with that part of ourselves. That's, if it's negative that you feel about yourself, then that's healing to be done. But to sit with that part that only you know, and you know what I'm talking about, that one part that you keep a little secret, that's all you, and it can come from maybe when you were a child, but connect with that part of yourself that is innocent and pure and love. And let that part of you grow. And the only way it grows is to sit with it. I hope this helps, because it really is a needed thing. And it really is a beautiful thing. And I think it's the highest gift that you can give someone else, to be present and validate their presence in your life. It'll change your life, it'll change theirs. So, God bless you, and may everything work out for you. But practice, practice, practice. Put the work in, you'll get it all out. Love to you. Have a great day.